More than 6 years after San Diegan Elizabeth Sullivan was first reported missing, her husband is finally sentenced for her murder.
Prosecutors say after stabbing the wife and mother to death, the former Navy man hid her body in a freezer for 2 years before later dumping it in the San Diego Bay. News 8's Richard Allen has more on Elizabeth's loved ones' pleas for justice leading up to the judge's decision.
Well, that's right. Prosecutors say mounting financial pressures and marital difficulties led to Matthew Sullivan murdering Elizabeth, his wife, and the mother of the couple's 2 young daughters.
He didn't give her a quick, painless death. It was essentially torture.
1 year after a jury found 36-year-old Matthew Sullivan guilty of brutally stabbing his wife Elizabeth to death in their Liberty Station home, the former Navy man learns his sentence, 16 years to life in prison. Leading up to that in San Diego Superior Court Friday, Elizabeth's loved ones had their say.
The longer sentence won't make the pain go away, nor will my recanting of the sorrow I've gone through these last 6.5 years make this man feel any differently than he does now.
Matt has caused a tremendous amount of pain to me, Liz's family, and friends. There are no words to describe this pain that still sits in the pit of my heart.
Prosecutors say after murdering his wife in October 2014, Matthew Sullivan hid her body inside a freezer in their home for 2 years, later dumping it in the San Diego Bay the day he was set to move out of San Diego. That same day, Elizabeth's decomposed body was discovered floating in the water a half-mile from the couple's home, wearing the same clothes she was last reported wearing 2 years earlier.
She should have had decades to grow old and to watch her children grow up. And the defendant took all that away from her and from them.
Matthew Sullivan's defense attorney tried in vain to argue for probation for his client, pointing out his lack of a criminal record before this.
This is the person who got through high school without discipline records of any kind, no juvenile criminal court contacts.
Arguments that in the end failed to dissuade the judge from handing down the 16 years to life sentence, as Elizabeth's loved ones pushed for the longest punishment possible.
I pray that Matt never see or experience freedom again.
And as Matthew Sullivan now begins his sentence, he is being credited with more than 3 years' time already served since his initial arrest back in 2018.
All right, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. On to the Israelite foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's a quick show through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. See that video in particular, which is one of many of international, that's what they're all interracial, relationships that's going sour. All right, this is not the only one. It's been another one I couldn't remember where specifically I seen it, where a black woman thought she got herself a golden boy, got that white boy, and end up getting chopped up in pieces. And we've been telling you people, this man is your enemy. This man can't stand your guts. And even through matrimony, he still hates you. Oh, that's what it was. It was an NBA, or it was an NFL player. Damn, as soon as I can remember this guy's name. He was a linebacker. No, yeah, he was a linebacker. He used to play for the Giants. He went to Arizona, the Raiders, one of those teams, and ended up, I think he beat the shit out of his woman, or he did something to the effect, and they use the terminology of mental illness. All right, because he wanted her to do something. I forgot what it was specifically. My memory's not that good. However, this thing that we seen as being displayed right before our eyes in the ancient world would have been something unthinkable. All right, our women had some type of quality. Yeah, even in slavery, if you look at any of those slave movies, you could see the women resisting the devil. Now these days, these women are getting married to the devil. All right, like my man J. Rule the Dammer just said the devil used to. What he said? The devil used to chase her or something like that. Now he got her chasing the paper. Oh no, the devil used to rape her, now he got her chasing the paper. Now he got her chasing the paper. In other words, he trained the black woman to be our sole enemy, and she become a worse enemy to the black man, quote unquote black man, than any other. All right, and it's the Latin tribes, all the tribes get that effect, but not much more than Judah, Benjamin, Levi. All right, and you see all our women are just flat out race traitors, man. Okay, but like I said, Deuteronomy 7, I believe it is 7:2. It says, and this is what the Lord said. This is the commandment. Deuteronomy 7:2. It says, and when the Lord thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them utterly and destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter, thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter thou shalt take unto thy son. So the Lord didn't want us to have no type of marriages with these other nations. Period. All right. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that. Yeah, let me read this a little bit and then I'll get to the point I want to get. For they will turn away the son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. So keep that in mind. So if we have made a covenant marriage with these people, the Lord is going to utterly destroy us. So you see in judgment being played out. I believe this is the one I was looking for. Yep. Ezra 9:1. Now, when these things were done, princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Israelites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to the abomination the abomination even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites, and the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. And that's the same thing that the Lord said in Deuteronomy 7, the 7th chapter, not to get married with them. All right. And the reason why, because it said it. We're going to follow the abomination of these nations. Okay. That's the reason why. It says, for they have taken their daughters from themselves and their sons, so that a holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the prince and the rulers have been chief in this trespass. And it says, and when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle and plucked off the hair of my head out of my beard and sat down astonished. Then were all assembled. So then were assembled unto me everyone that trembled the words of the Lord, the words of the Most High of Israel, because of the transgressions of those that been carried away, and has set to astonish unto the evening sacrifice. But the main reason why we was not supposed to get with the other nations is because if you have a man, if you marry the other nations, your child was going to be learning of that mother's nation. So that's why the Lord didn't want that. Not because Israelite man can't get with a nation. All right. Matter of fact, an Israelite man gets more peace when he's dealing with another nation than his own women. All right, because of the curses. However, our women was not even supposed to even think about these things, to do these things. All right. But then you see the action of these Edomites once they have you. A lot of these quote unquote black women, successful black women in the society. All right. Some brothers probably, when we young, lusted after them. Look like, damn, I would love to have a woman like that. And then she turn around and she just get with the other nations. That's a no-no. Also, since it popped in my head, the movie Django, there was a particular woman in that movie. It's kind of hard to explain, but a lot of these slavery movies, a lot of these women that play the role of not the damsel in distress or the rapee or the woman that's like about it, that, you know, pro-black, they all got with the enemy. All right, they all got with the enemy. So it shows you, man, this society, our women ain't shit. Okay. Amos 7:10. This says, 7:17. It says, thus saith the Lord, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city. So our wives became harlots in the city, doing the most unthinkable act. And that's how that woman got chopped up. She married a man, which man was in the Navy, and she thought she was in a good case. She was probably proud to show him about, this is my man, this, that, to the third. Probably not even give him half of the hell she'll give her own man. And then he turns around and chop her up, put her in the freezer, and then get rid of the body. There's gonna be a lot more of these events coming real soon, man. Because our women they playing the whore, they playing that role of, you know, the enemy. Like it says Amos 5:10. Amos 7:10. All right. She that is my enemy. The black woman has become the black man's enemy. The Lord is judging her for these actions, man. All right. Isaiah 13, I believe I'm going to go to the points. Well, yes, actually, I'm going to start at 14. Isaiah 13:14. And it shall be as a chased roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. Who's going to be that chased roe? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, your same lover that you love so much. When that time comes, it's lights out. See, women just like to flock to power for convenience sake. All right. Example: a lot of these women that get with these other people for whatever convenience sake, because they believe that they better off. When they see that person is weak, what do? They end up leaving that person. And when they end up leaving that person, they go to somebody else that think that is going to protect them from the times to come. So women are like just like the actions of certain women are just like rats. All right. When the sink is shipping, they'll go find any means necessary for some protection. So when that time comes, believe it or not, a lot of these women are going to be rejected by the men of the Lord, because the men of the Lord is going to remember that, and we're going to be seeing, the Spirit's going to allow us to see what wickedness you did. All right. It says, they shall every man turn to his own people. So there's going to be a time that's going to come real soon where every race or every nation or every person is going to go to their own kind. There's not going to be a point where you're just going to have to accept, oh, this is her husband and this, that. Nah. It's not going to be down like that. When that time comes, unless that's an Israelite foreigner, head's going to be rolling, man. It says, and flee everyone to his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. So for all the race traders that's out there, when that time come of judgment, you'll be thrust through. I mean, put to death. All right? You're going to be put to death for joining with the enemy, man. It said, everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So it's not just, I'm saying it as an angry, quote unquote, man. I'm stating the facts, what the scriptures say. Anybody that is joined, that means even you Israelite men that want to be down with Esau, you're going to be put to death. When judgment comes, the Lord is going to bring judgment to everybody's doorstep. All right. Now, if you caught with the wrong side, you're going to be judged with them. Just like in this society, you're guilty. You're guilty by association. You're going to be guilty by joining with these people. That's why the Lord is allowing this judgment to take place on you women. All right. I'm still in Isaiah 32. And 9 it says, rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. And this is the Lord speaking. And how the Lord speaks, he speaks through his prophets. All right. His prophets is out there in the highways and byways telling you people what's going to happen. All right. Now, yes, we know the curses, Deuteronomy 28th chapter, that say now women's gonna, pretty much turn on us. But damn, to that point, like I said, if you look back in time, a couple centuries ago, matter of fact, hold on, let's say a couple of decades, let's say about 1960s, that was unheard of to see a quote unquote black woman, Latino woman, or so forth to join to the other side. Did it happen? Of course it happened. But that was very unheard of because these are two different people. Now, if these two different people can't get along, people can't get along, you can't bring this united. All right? But there's a lot of cases where it happened. But now you're seeing the judgment of it. All right? It says, verse 10, many days and years you shall be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble tremble you women that are at ease. Be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you and make you bare as gird sackcloth upon your loins. And what is that gathering? That gathering is you being in a position that you are in. And look, see what feminists really did? Feminist was built upon literally the destruction of the Israelite household, man. And you see what's going on? Now women completely gone. But you know what? Like we said before, we don't need you. At the end of the day, it's the man that carries the seed. All right? There's only a few elect women that's going to be saved from this madness, man. But a lot of you women is going to be put to death. Matter of fact, there was a brother was sent. It was something on the chat, which was it IG? Oh yeah, it was Willie D. That said it. Yeah, Willie D. said an IG model had this is not the and it's funny thing because he's saying it like that's the first case ever. What I'm about to say, but that's well known. Document what these women would do for fame, and what it was. What the IG model would go to the Middle East, and the princes and the people that have power will have these women have sex with camels. All right, quote unquote black, Latino, Native American women. All right, the Israelite women going out there for money, prostituting themselves to the point of even bestiality, homosexuality, all that just for fucking money. So what do you think is gonna happen? This is the Lord's judgment, man. Okay, this is the Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's judgment on you. Okay, matter of fact, let me get the scripture before I forget it. Jeremiah 30, I believe it's 13 maybe, not 14. Jeremiah 30 and 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee, they seek thee not, for I have wounded thee with a wound of an enemy. And who's the lovers that is speaking of? It's talking about all these nations. There's going to come to a point in time where you ally yourself with these nations, and the fruit of your labor is going to end up death. All right, like it says Isaiah the 28th chapter, those that made a covenant with death, you're going to be put to death, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not playing. And I'm going to end it off on this. Ezekiel 9 and 4. It says, and go through the city. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids, girls, females, women, and children and women. So the Lord has a emphasis of putting the daughters of Israel to death, man. All right, He has a righteous gripe to put you to death. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna end it off on this instead. Micah 7 and 10. It says, then she that is mine enemy shall see it. Who's the enemy of who? This is specifically talking about the enemy of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which is who? Our women. Esau, the number one, the so-called white man, and our women, all right, the oppressor of the household. That's why Esau put her in that position so she can run amok. And you see the product of her being in power. Okay? So now if she's in power, all this chaos is taking place within the household because she's in power. So she is our enemy, man. And that's why they get with these they get with our enemies. All right? They sleeping with the enemy and thinking that they're going to be protected by the enemy, and they being put to death by the enemy. And we supposed to give a damn about them? Fuck out of here. It says, shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? And for all you women that's out there that had a brother, you're going to regret letting that man go when that time comes. Because this specific thing is talking about you women that turn your back on the men of the Lord, man. My eyes shall behold her, now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets, meaning like a piece of shit that you are. Okay? So when that time comes, man, Yahweh Shemiah shall give the green light, the angels, the messengers of the Lord, which are the angels, the left and the right, and the men of the Lord themselves are going to come around and start slaughtering you traitors, man. When it all boils down to it, man. Through the spirit of Yahweh Shemiah Shah, the Lord's about to clean his household. All right? From the men, women, and children. So with that being said, holy brothers, this is edify shalom to the elect of the nations. Shalom.